I want to share a story with you, and I'm actually going to read you a text that I got from a friend last week. And this text got me really thinking about rest and why women find it so hard to stop and rest, even for 5 minutes. And I ended up going down pretty big rabbit hole here with research, with talking to other people. This really, really bothered me. And I actually bumped an interview. Next week, I have a really, really powerful interview because I wanted to get this out. I needed to get this out to you today. Welcome to the Thrive Hive podcast, the place where success meets reinvention and nothing, I mean nothing, is off limits. I'm your host, Nancy Medoff, speaker, coach, best-selling author, and former corporate VP who knows firsthand what it means to leave a wildly successful career behind, to build a dream business in life, then blow it all up again when it's simply no longer enough. Here, we don't wait for permission to feel free. We talk about reinvention, aligned ambition, managing our energy, boundaries, and the power of surrounding yourself with the right women. This is not a networking group. It's not a therapy session. This is a space for elevated, honest conversations about business, life, and what it really means to thrive. So if you're ready to stop carrying it alone, ready to connect with women who get you, and ready to design what's next with clarity and confidence, come on in. This is your space. This is your time. Welcome to the Hive. So I'm going to read you this text. It says, and then I'm going to give you the backstory. I'm currently lying on my bed in dirty workout clothes. I wanted to go to the beach, and that just seems too difficult. To which I responded, this is a text I received, to which I responded, rest. We never give ourselves time to simply rest. And I'm going to give you the backup story. So what we're talking about today is rest, and why rest is it's not a reward, it's a requirement. I'm going to give you scientific data. I'm going to give you biological data. I'm going to give you everything you need, and 3 reasons why we as women do not allow ourselves to rest and what it's costing us. So let's dive in. Okay. So the text that I got that said I'm lying on my bed in my dirty gym clothes and just going to the beach seems too hard. So I'm going to back up a little bit. I had made plans with a friend of mine. That text came from a friend of mine. And we made plans. We have known each other for years. We've been trying to get together for like 2 years. I see her at parties, I see her around town, and we were trying to get together. So we said, let's plan this. We planned it about 6 weeks out. And we said, let's not go out. We all go out all the time. She travels a lot for work. I travel for work. It's summer, it's Cape Cod, it's busy. We always go out. We said, let's stay home. Let's just have dinner with our partners at home. Great. So Monday of that week, this is for Thursday night. Monday of that week, I checked in with her and I said, hey, are we still on for Thursday and what's a good time? She said, absolutely, yes, we're still on. And do you want to go here or do you want to go here? And I was a little confused. And I said, well, okay, we can go out. I thought we had talked about staying in because we both go out so much and we want to keep it simple. And she said, yeah, okay. Yeah. And I said, but if we do go out, here's where I'd prefer to go. Here's why, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, she said, yep, you're right. We did say we were going to stay in. Let's stay in. Okay, great. So now we decided we're going to stay in. What can I bring? Keep it simple. Fine. So that day I was making the fruit salad that I was going to bring. I was going to bring a healthy dessert, the fruit salad with a little yogurt dip, delicious, easy. And because again, we were keeping it simple. And she sent me a text. It was National Tequila Day. And there was a party at a place that we both live nearby. She said, hey, why don't we go here tonight? This looks like it could be fun. And I was laughing and I'm like, wait, what? I thought we were staying in. Like we talked about it. We said, yep, we're going to keep it simple. We said who was making what. I was just kind of laughing, chuckling, and also confused. So I was getting ready to text her back. And I said, I'm not going to text her. I'm going to leave her a voice text because I don't want this message to get misunderstood. I don't want any misunderstandings. And so this was that day that I was supposed to go over to her house. And I left her the voice text and it said, hey, very nicely, I think. It said, hey, if you want to go out tonight, that's great. I promise you I will not be mad. I am not going out tonight. I'm out the next 5 nights in a row. I was out for the last 2 nights. I promise I'm not going to be angry. I am not going out. That's it. I don't want to go out tonight. And okay, great. She's like, no, yep, okay, we're not going to go out. Okay, so now we're not going to go out. And I'm like, okay, we're not going to go out, fine. Not maybe 3 minutes later, that's the text I got, which was, I'm lying in my bed in my dirty gym clothes, too tired to get out of my dirty gym clothes, or burnt out, or whatever, resting. And going to the beach seems like too much work. Now no kids, just her and her partner, because going to the beach with kids is a ton of work. And she lives 5 minutes from the beach. So as do I. So I'm like, okay, what? I'm lying on the bed too tired to go out. This is the same person that 3 separate times forgot that we had planned to stay in. And the automatic default was to go out. So I really got to thinking about this. And I'm like, what is going on in the world? In the world, because this friend of mine, this could have been me. It could have been you. It could have been any one of us. What is going on that we are too tired to take our gym clothes off, put on a bathing suit, sit in a beach chair and stare at the waves and relax? We're too tired to do what we need to do so that we can go relax. This is concerning to me. So I did a little research. And this research was specific to why it is so hard for women to allow themselves to rest, particularly women. And I know I've talked about it on this podcast before. I do a whole presentation on rest equaling resilience and how rest is the key to resilience. This is baked into one of my keynotes. So I've done a lot of research on that whole thing. What I was trying to figure out was, why is it so hard for women? Take my friend. The rest was accessible. It was right there. All she needed to do was change her clothes and go to the beach. But we don't feel worthy unless we've earned it. So here's what I learned. First of all, rest is not laziness. You are biologically wired to require rest. Here's a couple of things. And we all know from all the psychological journals, Harvard Business Review, all these things. Chronic stress shrinks your prefrontal cortex. So this is the front part of your brain that is responsible for executive function and creativity. Basically, function. So chronic stress shrinks the part of your brain that is your operating system. It's your functioning system. Okay, so that's chronic stress. What we know is from biology that even a short rest break, you can go outside for, I'm going to say 10 minutes. The statistics say 20, I'm going to go 10. Walking outside, sun on your face, grounding, sticking your feet, or walking on the ground, whatever it takes for you to kind of come back and decompress, that reduces cortisol. Cortisol is it's the hormone that fuels your stress. So if you can reduce your cortisol and therefore reduce your stress, you stop shrinking your prefrontal cortex, which really is a very convoluted way to say, when you rest, you end up more productive, more creative, more productive. You know this. You know that when you take a week off for vacation, you come back, you're ready to go. I have a client that just took a week off. She came back, she was full of new idea and totally recharged and re-energized and all those things. I know myself that if I sit down for 10 minutes, I will come back much better. So what I will say is, and I was so fired up about this earlier this week, I wish I could record my podcasts in the car, because that's when I'm usually the most fired up. I don't know why. I mean, I was hot on this. Why can we not take 5 minutes? And this is your permission. If you pull into your driveway and you know what's waiting for you on the other side of that door, and you love everybody on the other side of that door, and you can't wait to see your kids or your partner or whoever, if you want to take 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 30 seconds in your driveway and just do nothing, do it. Just do it. You have to rest. If you want to, gaze aimlessly. If you want to pull over into a parking lot and just gaze out the window, do it. If you want to lie in bed, and I'm a jump out of bed in the morning person, that's just how I'm wired. If you're not, and you want to lie there for, I don't know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and continue resting, do it. The more you rest, the more you recharge the part of your brain that is connected to creativity, function, and problem solving. Okay, so this is your permission to rest. All right, let's talk about why women in particular are leery of resting. All right, the first is how we're socialized. So this is social conditioning. Women are conditioned to be givers, doers, nurturers, and rest equals risk. I thought that was really, really powerful. Rest for some people equals risk. I'm not being productive. I'm being selfish. We are praised from the minute we can actually do things for being productive and doing all the things. And, we talked about this last week. We talked about the ego that's tied to being the one who's always the doer and always doing things. So imagine if you are invested and your ego is so tied to, and I don't mean ego in a bad way, I mean ego in the psychological way, is tied to, I'm always doing this, I'm doing this. I am a list person. I have lists everywhere. So imagine how uncomfortable it is for me to just sit for 10 minutes. I'm getting better. I'm getting better at that. It's becoming a little more comfortable for me to do that. So it's because we are conditioned to be doing, providing, nurturing, caring, always doing. I want you to try to think about this differently. Rest is not selfish. It's what you can do that allows you to show up and continue showing up for the people who are important in your life. And I know that sounds, well, I don't know that might sound a little cliche. It is so incredibly true. You know that you are a lot more on it when you're rested, and when you go and go and go and you don't take that rest, not only are you hurting yourself, you're hurting the people that are counting on you because you're not showing up as fully rested and as the best version of you. Okay. Number two, this one hit me. This hit me. For many of us, our identity or our ego, our identity is tied to output. So think about this. Women tie their worth to what they do, what they're doing, not necessarily who they are. So I'm going to say that again. Women tie their worth to what they do, not who they are. So think about it. If you tie your worth to what you're doing and you're not doing anything, how does that make you feel? And there is the myth of, I'll rest when everything's done. I used to do this with laundry until I heard a Mel Robbins podcast that completely changed my life. Think about laundry. And think about your life as laundry. I'm going to talk about the laundry first. Laundry's never done. It's impossible for laundry to be done because you're wearing clothes. So even if all of the laundry is folded and put away, you are wearing clothes that are going to have to be laundered. So so the cycle starts again. So the laundry is never going to be completely done. If you can get, and for the 5 seconds or half a day that is actually done, this is when I used to just be not obsessed with laundry, but before the Mel Robbins podcast, I'd be like, oh my God, the laundry's done. When the laundry was done, I was like, I thought I was Superwoman. But think about it. That would last for half a day because at the end of the day, dirty clothes would be back in the hamper. So think about your life like that. It's not done or not done. It's a constant cycle. And if you think about the cycle and you don't reward yourself when it's done, you give yourself permission to reward yourself along the way. So if you're measuring yourself by your productivity, which many of us do, promotions, packed calendars, busy social calendar, clean house, laundry being finished, if you're measuring your worth by that, and even if you're subconsciously measuring your worth, I mean, it's not like I wake up and say, I will feel much more worthy when the laundry is done. I don't do that. But I know I'm like, okay, I gotta get the laundry done. I gotta get this done. I gotta get the kitchen clean. I gotta do it. Why? If I'm measuring my worth that way, I'm always going to be behind. I'm never going to stop. So imagine if I'm never going to stop, I certainly can't rest. Think about it. Think about it. If you're measuring your worth by your productivity, then you will never be able to stop. And that's really scary. Okay. And if you do decide to rest, it's a threat to your identity. So I know that's I know it's a little deep or this could be perceived as a little much. I encourage you to think about it. Think about it as it relates to you and kind of how you're showing up in the world. Okay. Here's what I want you to know. You are not your output. You are not your output. You are you. You are your kindness. You are your intellect. You are your energy. You are not your output. Okay. So, final and third reason why, when I did the research, why women do not allow themselves time to rest. And that is, drum roll, guilt. Oh, I mean, that one, tie this back to the fact that we tie our identity to output. So the guilt then is, I can't rest if everything's not done. I can't take a nap if I still have these 5,000 things to do on my to-do list. I can't lie down in the backyard and get some sunshine on my face if I still need to break down the Amazon boxes or whatever the case may be. Think about it and think about who you think you're letting down when you don't rest. So let me rephrase that. You keep going and you won't let yourself rest because you don't want to let people down. People could be your kids, could be your coworkers, could be your partner, could be your friends. I don't know. Could be your neighbors, but it's okay to let yourself down. Think about that. I don't want to let them down. I don't want my kids to walk into a dirty kitchen. So I'm not going to take 10 minutes and just sit for a minute on the couch. Better I should be upset. Better I should let myself down. Enter the concept of earning our rest. And this is, I can't remember if I talked about this. If I did, I'm going to talk about it again. I think I did. Memorial Day weekend. I woke up. I'll never forget this. And one of the things I used to love to do was early in the morning. I wake up very early, sometimes 5, sometimes 5:30. And sometimes when we first moved to our house here in Truro, I would lie on the couch in the morning, early morning, and read. I love to read. It's very relaxing for me. So like maybe 5 to 6, 6:15, I would lie on my couch and read. Because what am I missing? Sleep, right? It's not like I can call anybody. It's not like, I'm not gonna run errands at 5 a.m. It's really, I can just sit and relax. And I used to love to do that. So Memorial Day weekend, I woke up and I said, okay, why don't you grab your Kindle and go down to the couch? And I'm like, nope, I have too much to do. I can read after I do fill in the blank. I can read after I do the laundry, put away the dishes, and straighten up the office or whatever. And I thought to myself, when did I start negotiating with myself to do something that brings me joy? Which brings me to, why do we negotiate with ourselves and have to earn the rest that we know is going to make us more functioning, healthier, better to be around, and it's going to make us more productive? So that's the guilt. I can't rest. I didn't earn it. I didn't work hard enough. I'm going to go walk on the treadmill some more, or I'm going to go, as soon as I finish my shopping, I can do that. I am notorious for doing this. I will have a list that nobody could possibly, statistically impossible to get through this whole list. And I will say to myself, yeah, you can go do that. You can lay out in the backyard after your list is done. I want to talk a little bit more about rest and resilience. Many times the word on the street is that the key to resilience is grit, grinding through grit. Like, grit, just get through it. Absolutely untrue, debunked a billion times. The key to resilience is rest. The key to resilience is recovery, which we achieve through rest. All the pro athletes, it's the recovery. So think about it. Think about if you've ever run distance running. I've run a couple marathons, and you have running days and you have rest days. Rest days built into your schedule. Today you rest, you don't run, because your muscles need time to recover and rebuild and regenerate. Same thing with us as human beings. Most of the pro athletes have rest rituals. Remember Dr. Audra that was on the podcast? If you didn't listen to that one, that was something. We talked a lot about our parasympathetic system, I think. We had a really good conversation. I'm actually going to link that in the show notes. And also, she works with many pro athletes and they have rest rituals. That's where I actually learned the term. How are you going to rest after a game? How are you going to rest at the end of the night? What she talks about in the podcast, one of her NHL, I think, National Hockey League, one of her pro hockey players likes to take baths. That's how he relaxes and recovers. So if the NHL player can take a warm bath at the end of the day, don't you think you can? I mean, frankly, you probably have more to do than he does, but you also know the value of being able to just let yourself sit and relax and rest. Before I wrap up, I want to share some information with you. This is Harvard Business Review and Stanford. This theory or their point is that the study shows that people who are rested are more creative under pressure, recover faster from setbacks, and make stronger long-term decisions. Wouldn't you like to be more creative under pressure, recover stronger from setbacks and recover faster from setbacks? I need to rest and make stronger long-term decisions. And then I want you to think about, this is interesting. Because I thought about this, think about the people you know who rest easy. I actually love that term, rest easy. I'll come home, the house will be literally in ruins. Like things will be happening left and right. And my roommate, also my husband, who's a wonderful person, he'll be laying on the couch reading a book. Now, don't get me wrong, he does more than his share of housework. He does. He's very, 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 very helpful, supportive. He's great. And also he rests easy, man. He will be like, yeah, I'm resting. I'll get to it. There's still plenty of time. What? But think about that. Think about how much easier his life is because he knows that the dishes aren't going anywhere and he's gets tired. So he's going to rest and then he'll deal with the dishes. This is just fascinating to me that some people think this way, and many people, like myself, like you, perhaps, do not. So here's your call to action. Get everything you know or everything you think or everything you've been taught about having to earn your rest. Not only is that outdated, it is not sustainable. You'll burn out and then you're no good to anyone. I want you this week to find a way to rest without negotiating with yourself about it. I'm not saying take a 20-minute power nap, although if that's what you want to do, great. Just find a way to rest, even if it's 5 minutes. Find a way to rest. And if the spirit moves you, let me know. Let me know what you did. Let me know. Tag me on Insta. Send me an email, smoke signal, any of the things. So with that, Thrivesters, consider this permission for you to rest and then go out there and thrive like you mean it. Peace out. That's a wrap, Podsters. Thank you for tuning in to this week's Thrive Hive podcast. Hopefully, after listening today, you're feeling a little more fired up, a little inspired, or maybe a little more like yourself and like the person that you know you're meant to be. And if you loved today's episode, take a screenshot, share it on Instagram, tag me. I love to see where and when our Thrive Hive is growing. And if you're thinking about someone who you think should really listen to this episode, send it her way, because we all deserve to go out and live that life we work so hard to build. Now, go thrive like you mean it.